Hi guys, so today I've used my sister as a model and I've done a traditional Indian bridal makeup style. This emphasises the decadent golds and reds featuring in many Indian weddings. Although the look can always be toned up by adding darker shadows and toned down by pairing it with a more subtle lip with either pink or nude colours. I also did her hair, which will feature at the end of the video, so if you like what you see then please keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with the eyes. I'm going to use a small concealer brush to brush on MAC Paint Pot in the colour Soft Ochre all over the lid as my eyeshadow base. And then I'm going to use a fluffy brush and the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette from Too Faced to set this. I'm using the colour Coconut Cream. As you can see, it's a bone coloured shadow just to set it all over. As my transition colour, I'm going to use a really light peachy terracotta colour called Peanut Butter from the same palette, and I'm just going to buff that into the crease using a really fluffy brush. Next, from the same palette, I'm deepening that just a tiny bit by using the colour Mousse, which is a really light, almost beige brown colour. So really working that in and bringing it in at the inner corners because I don't want it to venture any further out. To really deepen this a little bit more, using a slightly more compact crease brush so my shadow doesn't go everywhere, I'm using a deeper colour called Hot Chocolate from the Self Made palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a very deep brown colour. I'm just working that into the crease to really create a cut crease effect. From the NARS X STEVEN KLEIN palette named Dead of Summer, I'm going to use the two colours Subra and Blackmail to really deepen up the outskirts of the cut crease and bring it in. And then from the Chocolate Bar palette, I'm going to use a goldeny toned colour named Creme Brulee and pack that with a compact brush all over the lid. To make this gold deeper and richer, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Self Made palette, and I'm going to use the colour Self Made and just pack that on over the top of what I've already used, just to really deepen it, but leaving out the inner corners to keep them nice and light. Next, from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, I'm going to combine the colour Hot Chocolate and Triple Fudge to then buff into the crease and downwards to really add to that gradient effect. And then I'm going to use a more precise brush, which is more compact, and a blending brush, combining the colours Blackout and Busted from the Naked 2 palette. I'm going to work it in with the more compact brush first and then blend them out with the more fluffy brush, as you can see I'm doing here. Repeating this on both sides. Now for the eyeliner, I'm using Tarte's Clay Paint Liner. I'm going to line the top lid as thick as is appropriate with this look, so not too thick but not too thin, you'll see later. And I'm going to skip out the wing for now because I want to do my foundation and my face before I do the wing to prevent ruining the wing later. So I'm going to use Naked's Skin Illuminator combined with Tarte's, I think it's Pore Refining Primer. I'll put it in the description box below. And I'm just going to rub that into the skin and then pat it along to make sure it fills any craters in the skin and fills your pores to give you a nice smooth base. And then I'm going to combine two foundations, which are the Lancôme foundation and the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and really bounce that on with the beauty blender, making sure to cover the earlobes all the way underneath the jaw, all the way down to the neck. Be sure to remember to bounce the beauty blender rather than rubbing it, which gives you a very airbrushed, smooth finish. Now for the concealer, I'm going to use NARS Creamy Concealer in the colour Custard. I'm going to put that underneath the eyes in an upside down triangle shape, on the chin to highlight a little bit, and on the nose and forehead. And I'm going to do the same and bounce that in with the Beauty Blender. To make sure that stays put, I'm going to then set that with the loose translucent powder from Rimmel London. As you can see here, I'm going to use a little wedge sponge to pick up a little bit of that translucent powder and dot it as close as I can underneath the lower lash line, and definitely in the crease of the eyes, because that's where it usually gets quite greasy. Whilst I leave the translucent powder to set the under eyes, I'm going to begin using a combination of all three of the contour colours from the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, and I'm going to begin to contour all around the face, particularly cheekbones, along the jawline, on the nose, the cupid's bow, across the forehead, just to give the face a little bit more definition. Remember to use more gentle brush strokes, just to not be too harsh on the skin when contouring, and this is to help prevent the look of really overdone contour, and particularly that's just because we want to be making it look more natural. Now I've proceeded to dust off the translucent powder from the under eyes, and then once I've set this, well, I've already set this, so it should be all set in place, I'm going to begin to do the wing of my liner. I'm just going to draw an angled wing upwards, and then from the point I'm going to bring it back inwards to meet the liner on the lid. This helps to get a really good, just a pretty close to perfect winged liner, because then it's all in proportion. Now to make sure this really stays put, I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D ink liner, and I'm going to go all of that to give it a really bold, sharp, defined, jet black look. Now using the chocolate bar palette for the lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with all the colours that I used earlier, the particularly darker, more bronzy, glittery colours, and I'm going to just buff them into the lower lash line and then blend them out. In order to highlight the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to go back into that NARS palette and use a combination of Studley and Stag Film, which are the two lighter colours. And now, because my sister's not a huge fake eyelash wearer, I'm going to go in with some nice simple wispies. These are the Ardell lashes, and I'm going to use my normal Revlon lash glue, the invisible one, and just put those on the eyelids to just really give some long, fluttery, pretty simple lashes. Nothing too dramatic. I'm going to coat the falsies and the bottom lashes in a coat of mascara. This is Urban Decay's. Not sure, I can remember what it's called, but I'll put it in the description box below. And then for the eyebrows, I'm going to go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the colour Granite, and just create some nice defined brows. And being sure to blend them out to give a more natural look. So not too crazy defined, but nice and natural, as you can see. I'm just going to coat the eyebrows in some brow gel to make sure they stay put. This is just clear, sleek brow gel. Sleek's the brand. And then I'm going to go in with some highlight. I'm going to start off with some cream highlight by Benefit and highlight the standard places that I usually do: the cupid's bow, the bridge of the nose, the chin, the cheekbones, a little bit on the forehead, pretty much the whole face. And then I'm going to set that with the Mary Luminizer to really make it pop. Now, I really like to use bronzer to make the contour and the highlight connect. and to just brush over the contour, and that's what I'm doing because the harsh contrast between the highlighter and the contour can be a bit unnatural looking. For the blusher, I've gone in with the Too Faced blusher in, I can't remember what it's, peachy colour. Again, description box. I'm just going to really lightly dust that on. And for the final steps, which is the lips, I'm going to use this NARS lip pencil. This is in a nude colour because I don't really have one to match my lipstick. And I'm going to line the lips, and then for the first variation I'm going to use my standard Bobbi Brown absolute favourite lip pencil in the colour Rose Brown, and this will be the first more toned down look. And the second look to try is more of a deep maroon lip. It's not a great lipstick, but it does the job. I'll again put that down below. I'm just going to define the lips by doing the outside first and then fill them in, and then I'm going to go in with like a darker plum, which also matches the colour of her outfit, to make the colour overall a little bit darker. I'm going to stick with a nice shiny finish just because I rarely do that. And there we go, thank you for watching.
But I was right and you were wrong, been telling myself all along.